Catherine, and I'm going to share to you all about digestion. Digestion is the process of breaking down of food into simpler molecules that can be absorbed by the body. As you can see in my left, the digestive system is actually a long, hollow tube called gastrointestinal tract or GI tract. The digestive system includes the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. Several major glands, including the salivary glands, the pancreas, and the liver, add their secretion to the digestive system. Now, the process of digestion will finally start. The mouth is the organ in which the process of digestion begins. The mouth prepares the food for entry into the gastrointestinal tract. The remarkably well-adapted parts of the mouth give it a variety of abilities that most of us take for granted. In the pharynx, the GI tract and the respiratory tract cross each other. At this point, food moving down the GI tract could enter respiratory tract by mistake, causing a person to choke. However, the tongue moves the food into the pharynx and it presses down into the small flap of cartilage called epiglottis. The next organ is esophagus, a tube about 25 centimeters long that connects the pharynx with the stomach. The walls of the esophagus are made up of rings of muscles that circle the tube. As the bolus enters the tube, the circle muscles just above it begin to contract in waves that travel down the length of the esophagus. Look at the video. The esophagus passes through the diaphragm, the thick sheet of muscle that separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity, and empties into the stomach. A thick ring muscle called sphincter is found where the esophagus joins the stomach. The sphincter acts as a valve, allowing food to pass into the stomach but usually not letting it move back into the esophagus. The partially digested food is now in the stomach, a thick muscular sac located just below the diaphragm in the abdomen. Three sets of glands in stomach lining produce secretions called gastric fluids. One set of stomach glands in the stomach produces more mucus, keeping the food well lubricated and protecting the walls of the stomach from being digested by its own secretions. Another set of glands secretes hydrochloric acid, which makes the content of the stomach very acidic. Yes, despite certain commercial messages to the contrary, the stomach is supposed to be acidic. The acid helps break down food. In fact, if all the acid in the stomach were to be completely neutralized, the stomach would not be able to digest food. The digestive enzyme pepsin, secreted by a third set of stomach glands, work best under the acidic conditions present in the stomach. Together with the hydrochloric acid, pepsin in the stomach begins in the complex process of protein digestion. Pepsin breaks protein into smaller polypeptides. After 2 or 3 hours of chemical digestion, the food has been changed into a passive mixture called chyme. As chyme is pushed through the pyloric valve, it enters the duodenum. The duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. In the duodenum, chyme is flooded with variety of enzymes and other digestive fluids that break down additional food molecules. The enzymes and digestive fluids that are active in the small intestine come from these separate sources: the intestine itself, the pancreas, and the liver. The pancreas is a long organ located behind the stomach. When chyme enters the small intestine, glands in the pancreas are stimulated to release the secretions called pancreatic fluid. Pancreatic fluid enters a duct that empties into the duodenum. Enzymes in the pancreatic fluid are responsible for the digestion of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. The liver is the large brownish organ that lies above the stomach in the abdomen. The liver may weigh as much as 1,500 grams. One of the functions of the liver is to secrete yellow-brown liquid called bile. Bile is stored in a small sac called the gallbladder. The entrance of food into the small intestine stimulates the release of bile from the liver through the bile duct into the duodenum. The small intestine is very long, often as long as 7 meters in an adult. Spending several hours traveling from one end to the other, food is pushed slowly through the small intestine by peristalsis. When food leaves the small intestine, it passes into the large intestine, or colon. The main job of colon is to remove water from the undigested materials passing through it. Normally, the colon removes water efficiently and reduces the undigested materials to solid waste product called feces. The feces move through the colon by peristalsis, finally collecting at the end of the colon in the rectum. The valve-like anal sphincter muscles prevent the feces from being released until it is convenient for us to expel through the anus. For further understanding, check my link and subscribe.